Let me be very clear with all the fintechs and banks, which I am in every call I have with them. This isn't going away. This is the internet coming for a big part of your business.
Go ahead and pick up your phone. Call your local bank. Ask them how much cash they have right now in their vault. Simple information, right? I will bet that they laugh you off of that phone call. Well, one of my DeFi banks, Aave, has no phone number to even dial. There's no bank tellers, but still, I can see how much money is in the Aave vault any time of the day, any day of the week. And that's not all. I can see every loan going in and out, every deposit, every liquidation, and even how Aave is allocating their treasury funds. In case you're wondering, I don't have some secret method of seeing this information. It's all public, because DeFi is public. Prepare to get your mind blown. Right now, most of our money lives in cages, inefficient cages. Whether your money is locked up in a USD bank account, or a Euro bank account, or even a PayPal balance, it is caged up and can only be moved in a single direction and fairly slowly. For example, let's say I just made an eBay sale and received $1,000 in my PayPal balance. Let's see how easily I can use that to buy Facebook stocks. So first, sending my PayPal balance to my bank account takes about 1 to 3 days. Next, I set up a TD Ameritrade account, verify my ID, which takes a few days as well, and then I verify my bank, which also takes a few days. And when I finally deposit my money into my TD Ameritrade stock account, it tells me that I need to wait 3 business days before I can use that money to purchase stocks. Well, a whole week just went by and I still don't have my Facebook shares. In the DeFi world, if I receive a payment direct to my crypto wallet, I can instantly connect that to a derivatives exchange like Quenta and buy Facebook shares with my crypto. No verification, no 7 business days, just instant money movement. Guys, learning and using DeFi in 2021 is like learning HTML in the 1990s before the internet went mainstream. Your journey to enlightenment will start after you understand one very important word: decentralization. I'll explain it in 3 sentences followed by one example. Super easy and super powerful. Decentralization just means not having a single point of power, failure, or authority. It also means spreading out responsibility to many different parties instead of only one. And lastly, letting people govern and contribute to the systems that they use. A great example that we all know is Wikipedia, right? It's a website we all use and love, but a website that our teachers always claimed is not a reliable source of information. That's a bold claim to make against the 13th most visited website in the world. Wikipedia allows anyone in the world to edit, add, or remove information on a page through a collaborative process. At first, it seems like a bad idea, right? Seeing that anyone can make an account and go spread lies or misinformation. But on the flip side, anyone can make an account and challenge that false information. This is what makes Wikipedia a decentralized source of info. With 41 million contributor accounts and over 150,000 active fact checkers, it's nearly impossible to corrupt or spread misinformation in the long term. On the other hand, news outlets like CNN have a handful of higher-ups who all share similar beliefs, and their employees either also share those beliefs or pretend to, right? These executives are also profit-motivated public figures. Check this out. If I was a cigarette company and I wanted to put out a fake study claiming that cigarettes are good for you, there is a clear path to the people in charge at CNN who I can bribe, lobby, and persuade to help spread my fake study and boost my sales. Wikipedia, on the other hand, is full of anonymous contributors all over the world, and to bribe and organize such a campaign is nearly impossible for 3 reasons. 1, you'd have to bribe countless amounts of global strangers and get them all on the same page. 2, you have to corrupt everybody, which is probably impossible, right? And number 3, every contributor holds the same power when editing. I don't know about you, but I prefer my information to be fact-checked by the world rather than a small corporation ran by 17 public leaders. Wikipedia was a successful experiment of decentralizing information, and now the revolution of decentralizing our financial system is among us. DeFi aims to move our traditional financial system from stock exchanges to banks to payment processors, all onto a transparent and open platform that is owned by no one and everyone at the same time. So why do this, right? What's the benefit? As always, I'm glad you asked. So there are 3 infinitely powerful benefits for building a decentralized financial system on a platform like Ethereum. The first one being transparency. How well do you know your local banking branch? Personally, mine won't even tell me how much money is in the vault. My DeFi banks, however, Compound and Aave, show it all. Transparency prevents fraud and keeps everyone honest. Oh, and we all remember how Enron ended, right? Number 2 is peer-to-peer. DeFi wants you to be your own bank, right? And not rely on any middleman. In the traditional world, If Joe has $5,000 sitting in his bank and Emily wants a $2,000 loan, the bankers will take Joe's money, lend it to Emily for a 5% interest rate, and then the bank will then keep 4.99% of that interest profit and finally give Joe back, 0.01% of the profits to thank him for giving the bank that opportunity. Whereas on a decentralized app like Aave, there is no banker taking a 4.99% profit cut. Instead, Joe gets rewarded the full 5% for contributing to the lending pool that Emily borrowed from. Aave is just a software, guys, that anonymously connects lender and borrower. Magical stuff, right? Number 3 is decentralization. Remember when Robinhood made that decision to stop people from trading GameStop shares, which led to a lot of angry people either losing out on money or losing money? Well, that's the price we pay for using centralized apps. A company can make an executive decision to do almost anything they please. Decentralized apps, however, need community approval and votes to pass any changes. And if a vote passes, most apps have a 3-day time lock until the change is executed, giving plenty of time to plan ahead or remove funds. At the end of the day, in DeFi, you control your money, which knows no borders, no 3 to 5 business days, and no institutions that need your valuable private information just to let you participate in the global economy. So now that we know what decentralization means, how is this model being used to build a new financial system, right? Enter Ethereum. It all starts to make sense when you think of Ethereum as an app store, similar to that of Apple's. Ethereum is a community-run app store layer with tons of developers contributing to it. The infrastructure of Ethereum is decentralized, meaning instead of this app store being hosted in 2 to 3 big server warehouses, it is instead hosted on countless computers all over the world connected by the internet. Without a single point of failure and no centralized source of power, the Ethereum network remains extremely decentralized, censorship-resistant, and nearly impossible to take down. Anybody can build an app for the Ethereum App Store, and Ethereum-based apps can all use each other's features in a permissionless fashion. Ethereum is home to many cryptocurrency tokens as well. What I mean by this is that every cryptocurrency is built for a specific blockchain. The Bitcoin cryptocurrency runs on its own blockchain, for example, and nowhere else. So every time you send or receive Bitcoin, it travels strictly through the Bitcoin network. In order for Bitcoin holders to participate in DeFi on Ethereum's network, they must wrap their Bitcoin into a special digital casing for it to be compatible on the railroads of the Ethereum blockchain. This is what the wrapped Bitcoin token represents. To avoid this headache of wrapping and unwrapping, many projects just choose to launch an Ethereum-based token by default. This is how Ethereum has built such a strong network effect. Ethereum is by far the most popular blockchain with the most cryptocurrencies natively built on it. Some examples are DAI, Uniswap, Chainlink, and tons more that we all know. Any person, company, or institution can create an Ethereum-based token and use it to power their decentralized app. This is why Ethereum holds so much power. Now, let's talk about transaction fees. I'm sure you're aware of the expensive fees Ethereum users are paying recently, especially in bull markets. Where does this money go, right? And why can't we just remove the fees? So remember all of those computers in the world that help keep the Ethereum network up? They're incentivized to do so because they all share the fees generated by the network. Check out this cool live visualization which shows how the transactions work. On the left, you have Ethereum apps, and the people you see going from the apps to the buses are individual transactions on the network. The buses represent blocks. Each bus charges an entrance fee. In order to get on that bus, a person must be willing to pay that price for their transaction fee. Once the bus is filled up to capacity, it sets off to be added to the blockchain. In times of very high traffic, the transactions keep pouring in, but there is only limited space on each bus. So supply and demand are at play, and people will bid up the fee they are willing to pay, increasing the transaction fees. So anytime Ethereum fees are crazy high, it's because people are willing to pay a lot of money to get on those buses. Keep that in mind. The bus drivers represent the people running the Ethereum computers all over the world. The bus drivers or the validators get paid in the network fees generated. Fees keep the network secure by preventing spam attacks, right? Since every transaction costs money, even if it's a few cents, it would cost an attacker a small fortune to try and flood the network with transactions. All right, guys, so hopefully my explanation of decentralization and finance was simple enough to give you a solid foundation of the new revolution that is among us. To further your knowledge, head over to letsdodefi.com and check out more of my content, which gets updated frequently. Drop your questions in the comments, subscribe, and stay tuned.